Hi everyone, my name is Miss Christine with Fibo Kids Art Academy. Welcome to another amazing art class. Today we're going to be learning about Egyptian culture by doing a project inspired by the Egyptian Spring Festival. So let's take a look. In this project, we're going to be drawing the traditional meal eaten during that festival. Traditionally, they eat a fermented fish that they start doing that early on, and then we eat it during that day. We also have a special bread that actually, the recipe dates back to ancient Egyptians, and we also have boiled eggs that we decorate, just like in Easter. In this project, you're going to be needing markers, pencil, Sharpie, an eraser, scissors, glue, chalk pastels, and colored pencils. You're also going to need construction paper, but if you don't have construction paper, you can just use regular paper as well. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to clear out my table, and then we'll get started. Go ahead and take out some scrap piece of paper to do the practicing. I'm going to be doing my drawing in Sharpie so you can see it in the video, but please use a pencil for this step. So let's get started. In the final project, you're going to be using construction paper and cutting those out to do all the stuff that we're going to add on our plate. But for the practice drawing, we're just going to practice drawing those items on our plate. But let's get started with the background. We're going to start a little bit higher than halfway and draw a straight line across. That's going to be the horizon line. Then we're going to go ahead and draw our eggs. But first we have to draw the plate. So go ahead and draw a big oval at the bottom section for the plate. And then let's get started with the fish. You can draw any kind of fish you like, but if you want help, you can draw a curved line for the top, curved line for the bottom, sideways V shape for the fins, backward C for the head, and then a circle for the eyes. You can also add a fin if you want to add more detail. That's up to you how much detail you want to add on your fish. Then go ahead and draw your eggs. Eggs have a pointier top and a rounded bottom. And we're going to go ahead and draw 3 eggs. And they want to overlap, so some of the eggs are going to be in the back, so you won't see the whole egg. And the last thing we're going to draw is the bread. Now the bread is very special. My mom cooks it at home. And the bread needs a very nice hot summer day or like a spring day. So that's when you know when spring is about to come, because the weather gets hotter in Egypt. So we're going to start out by drawing the oval for the inside of the bread, a backward C and a forward C on each side of the bread, and then a rainbow at the top. We also like to have little creases on each little corner for the bread. So go ahead and practice, and when you're ready, let's move on to the final drawing. So again, I'm going to draw using a Sharpie, but for your final drawing, go ahead and still use a pencil because most of the drawing steps are not going to be Sharpied. So go ahead and we're going to repeat again. We're going to start with the horizon line by drawing a straight line across. And then for the final drawing, we're only going to draw the plate because again, all the stuff that we're going to add on our plate is going to be drawn on construction paper, cut out, and then glued on our plate. So go ahead and draw your big oval for your plate. And if you want to get fancy, you can add little creases or grooves on our plate. And then let's go ahead and work on the background. Now, if you live in Cairo, you can see the pyramids almost everywhere you live, so that's kind of cool. So what we're going to start out with is a silhouette of the Cairo landscape or cityscape. So we're going to do that by doing small lines going up, down, or little rectangles connected together. Because Egypt doesn't get a lot of earthquakes, so they usually have very high buildings. And they also are very famous for having lots of mosques. So we're going to add a silhouette of a mosque. They usually have a big dome, so go ahead and draw the dome shape. And then there's going to be a crescent moon for the top pillar. Or if you don't want to add a mosque, you can just keep adding these rectangle shapes for the silhouette of the Cairo cityscape. Then we're going to add the pyramids behind. To draw the pyramids, there's 3 of them and they get smaller. So we're going to start out with the big one first. Draw a slanted line going up, almost off the page, and then down. And we're going to add one more slanted line on the side to make it 3-dimensional. Then we're going to make the next pyramid slightly smaller, still slanted line up. Then you're going to go down, and you're going to add one more slanted line to make it 3-dimensional. Go ahead and repeat that. Make your slanted line a little bit shorter than the second one that we did. Slant down, and add one more line to make it 3-dimensional. And that's all our drawing steps on our paper. Then go ahead and take out your construction paper. I like using scraps for my construction paper so I don't waste any paper. But what we're going to do is go ahead and take up whatever construction paper that you have. And we're going to draw our items that's going to go on our plate. So remember, we have 1 fish, 3 eggs, and 1 bread. But I'm only going to be showing you how to do the fish. So I'm going to go ahead, draw the fish on my construction paper. You can use any color you like. And if you need help drawing the items, go ahead and pause the video and rewind to the practice drawing to help you with the items that need to be put on the plate. Once you're done drawing, you're going to take out your colored pencil and you're going to shade it. So we're going to make it more 3-dimensional. You can go ahead and fill in the eyes. And we're going to add a shadow by pressing light and using the side of our colored pencil. And you want to use a darker version of the color paper that you're using. So I'm using orange. So I ended up using brown because it's similar to orange, but it's darker. So that's a nice shadow color. And we're going to shade the bottom, the head, and the right side of any details that you added on your fish, eggs, and bread. So I shall show you what it looks like at the end. So I already shaded all the other stuff that is going to go on our plate. So go ahead, you can pause the video now so you can do all your items and shade them and color them any way you like, and then go ahead and cut them out. And we're ready for the coloring now. So once you're done with all your items on your plate and you've already cut them out, you can begin with our coloring steps. Now this is my favorite step. We're going to go ahead and start by doing a Sharpie step, and there's only 2 Sharpie steps. You're only going to Sharpie the horizon line and the plate. The rest is going to be left with pencil. So go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and start coloring in the background first, and then we'll move on to the bottom section. So we're going to go ahead and color in our silhouette with a marker. You can use any color you like. I recommend using a dark color since it's probably going to be going to stand out more. You're going to outline. Now, most of my family lives in Alexandria. So I haven't been to Cairo all that much, but I did visit last time I was in Egypt, and I did get to see the pyramids. That was a nice experience I had in Egypt. Now, some differences between Alexandria and Cairo. Alexandria is very close to the beach, so it's where most people go during the summer. But Cairo is the capital, so a lot of people work there. So go ahead and use long strokes using the side if you have Mr. Sketch markers, but if you have regular markers, just go ahead and fill in your silhouette with whatever color you decided on. And that's it. Next, we are going to move on to the shading of the pyramids. Now, we're only going to fill in the shadow section of our pyramids with marker. So go ahead and take out brown if you have it. If you don't, I think orange works as well. But try to use a more neutral or brownish color of whatever you have. And we're going to outline and fill in just that little sliver on the right side to add a shading effect. And you're going to repeat that in all three of your pyramids. You're going to outline that little section on the right side and fill it in. Again, you can pause the video if I'm going a little fast, so you have time to catch up. Then we're going to take out a type of green, any green you like, and we're going to add some grass lines. Like you can add flowers if you want as well, but I'm only going to add grass lines. This holiday is usually celebrated outside, usually at a park. So that's why we're going to have some grass. We're going to start by drawing large lines that go outwards. And we're going to start at the bottom, and you want them nice and big towards the bottom because we want to add some perspective. So they're going to get smaller as you go up. And then I'm starting to make them a little smaller. And then they're going to get smaller as they get closer to the horizon line. And that's going to add some perspective to your project. And you can add as many as you want. But remember, we don't want any grass in our plate. We want nice and clean. And that is all of the markers set. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our chalk pastel. So go ahead and take out your chalk pastels. If you don't have chalk pastels, you can use whatever coloring stuff you have at home, like colored pencils, or you can keep going with your markers. We're going to go ahead and start by doing the sky. Now, if you want to do a sunset, you can, but I'm just going to do light blue because usually this holiday is in the morning, and it's almost like Easter, but it's not. So it's usually done in the park in the morning and afternoons. So go ahead and outline. We're going to fill in the sky. And remember, with chalk pastels, you want to use the side. Leave lots of white spaces in between. And just use 1 or 2 fingers to fill in and blend with the extra dust you have. I like just going with 1 finger and outlining to get that really nice blending done. Then we're going to take out a gold or a light orange, whatever you have, and we're going to go ahead and fill in our pyramids. Again, outline. And use the side of the chalk pastels. And then use 1 or 2 fingers to blend. You go ahead and repeat that for all 3 of the pyramids. And the last thing we're going to use chalk pastels for is the grass. We are going to go ahead and start with the light green for the grass. We're going to outline the horizon line. We're going to outline the outside of the plate. It's going to give us a nice border. And then we're going to use the sleeping side. We're going to pull down. Make sure that you're not using too much because it does get really messy. And then again with 2 fingers, you're going to blend side to side. And then after you're done with the light green, go ahead and take out the dark green. And we're going to outline just the bottom section, bottom half of the plate. We're going to use 1 finger going back and forth about maybe 3 times to blend. It's going to create a shadow under the plate. Okay, and that's all the chalk pastels that we're going to be using. So you can go ahead and put your chalk pastels away. And you can go ahead and take out your glue and all the cutouts that you did. So here's my fish, my eggs, and last but not least, my bread. Okay. So you can arrange it any way you like. So I like to plan where I'm going to put everything first before moving on to the gluing. So I think I like this setup, so I have an idea of where everything is going to go. And then I can go ahead and start gluing. Now remember, with glue you don't need too much. I recommend just outlining the shape with the glue and placing it in the spot you like. And you're going to repeat that for all of your delicious items on your plates. The fish is very stinky, and I think it's nice that we eat it outside, because if you eat it inside, it's a little too much. It's nice to also press down on your items when you're gluing, just to make sure they're really on the paper. You can also decorate your eggs any way you like. I just did a little simple shading design on there. And that's it. We're all done. So I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Um, Make sure that you clean up after your beautiful artwork, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.